My name is Lauren. I still remember the look on Mr. Thompson's face when I stood up and announced that I was now the majority owner and new CEO of Crest Tech Innovations. It was a sight I'd dreamed of for years, and seeing the color drain from his face was a moment of pure satisfaction. Crest Tech Innovations was supposed to be a place where talent and hard work were rewarded. But under Mr. Thompson's leadership, it had become a corporate hellhole, where hierarchy and politics reigned supreme. I'd joined the company as a junior systems analyst straight out of college, fresh with ideas and a passion for innovation. My parents, both hard-working teachers, had instilled in me the values of integrity and dedication. They taught me that if you worked hard, good things would come your way. But at Crest Tech, that didn't seem to be the case. As time went on, I climbed the corporate ladder to become a senior systems analyst. And then came the annual party, the event of the year according to all the email reminders that had filled my inbox for the past month. The invitations promised crystal chandeliers, a 5-course meal, and most importantly, the chance to network with executives who usually stayed locked away on their top-floor offices. When I arrived at the venue, I was stopped by the event coordinator, a young woman named Natalie. She had a fake smile plastered on her face as she scanned her tablet. "Sorry, the main hall is for executives only," she said. She pointed through the floor to the ceiling windows to the parking lot, where a sad-looking white tent fluttered in the December wind. I could see a few chairs and what looked like a single space heater that was clearly no match for the cold. "Support staff," I repeated, looking down at my employee badge. Lauren Davies, Senior Systems Analyst. I was no entry-level employee, but apparently, I wasn't executive material. Anyone below director level, Natalie clarified with that same insincere smile. Company policy. Mr. Thompson was very specific about maintaining proper hierarchies at corporate events. Mr. Thompson was the CEO of Crest Tech. He'd inherited the company from his wealthy father, a man known for his cutthroat business tactics. Mr. Thompson spent most of his time perfecting his tennis swing and schmoozing with the board, while the real work was done by us, the support staff, 3 floors below his luxurious office. As I made my way outside to the parking lot, my phone buzzed. It was the notification I'd been waiting for 6 long months. The acquisition paperwork was complete. As of 4:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Nova Digital Holdings, my company, officially owned 51% of Crest Tech Innovations. Tomorrow's all-hands meeting was going to be epic. The parking lot tent was even more dismal up close. About 40 of us huddled around rickety tables, trying to balance paper plates while keeping our coats zipped up tight. Someone had strung up some Christmas lights, but they flickered weakly against the gray evening sky. My colleague Ethan waved me over. "Can you believe this? They've treated us like we're just excess inventory," he said. I sat down at his table and accepted a lukewarm beer from another analyst. "When did this policy start?" I asked. "This year," said Lily from accounting, her voice filled with bitterness. "Thompson's new organizational efficiency initiative. Separate but equal, he calls it. Except the equal part got lost somewhere," Ethan added. "They're having lobster and champagne in there, and we're stuck with Subway sandwiches." Through the windows, I could see the executive party in full swing. Mr. Thompson was holding court near the bar, his perfectly styled hair gleaming under the chandeliers as he told exaggerated stories to the board members. The executives laughed at all the right moments, their champagne flutes catching the light. Lily continued, "You know what the worst part is? We just had our best quarter ever. The AI integration project I worked on with you, Lauren, saved the company $12 million. Guess who got the credit?" We all looked over at Mr. Thompson, who was now demonstrating his tennis serve to an impressed audience. Ethan said quietly, "I ran the numbers. Over the past 3 years, our department has generated 73% of the company's innovations and 81% of its growth. Do you know what percentage of us get promoted to executive level? Let me guess, I said. 0.2%, and they both left within 6 months, he replied. Just then, my phone buzzed again. It was an email from my lawyer with the subject line, "Congratulations, Madam Chairwoman." Chairwoman. It had a nice ring to it. I need to make a call, I said, standing up. Save my seat and maybe grab an extra sandwich. I have a feeling tomorrow's going to be a long day. I walked over to my car, a reliable Toyota that always made me stand out in the parking lot whenever I had to attend strategy meetings. Mr. Thompson had once made a snide comment about it, saying, "That's the difference between executives and analysts. We understand the importance of image." I sat in the driver's seat and dialed my CFO, Ryan. "Is it done?" I asked. "Every last share," he confirmed. "The board doesn't know yet. Thompson's been too busy planning his fancy party to notice the ownership changes. We now control Crest Tech Innovations." "And the press release?" I inquired. "Ready to go out at 9 a.m. Sharp, right when the all-hands meeting starts." "Perfect. Make sure someone films Thompson's face when he finds out," I said. "Already arranged. By the way, have you decided what to do with him?" I looked back at the tent where my colleagues, the real heroes of Crest Tech, shivered in the cold while Thompson and his cronies enjoyed the luxury inside. "I have some ideas," I said. "But first, I want him to squirm." The next morning, I arrived at the office early and parked in my usual spot in the far corner of the lot. The security guard, Pete, did a double take when he saw me. "Ms. Davies, the all-hands meeting isn't for another hour." "I know, Pete. Just wanted to get some work done first," I replied. He shrugged and went back to his newspaper. I'd made it a point to learn every security guard's name over my 5 years at Crest Tech. You'd be surprised how much you could learn from the people the executives ignored. By 8:45, the main conference hall was packed. The executives clustered in the front rows, still looking smug from their party the night before. The rest of us, the support staff, filled the back sections. I sat down in the very last row next to Ethan. "You look surprisingly cheerful for someone who spent last night in a parking lot," he observed. "Just excited to hear what leadership has planned for us," I said innocently. At exactly 9 o'clock, Mr. Thompson strode onto the stage, his designer suit impeccable and his confidence oozing. "Good morning, Crest Tech family." "Family. Right. Before we begin," he continued, "I want to address last night's party. I know some of you were disappointed by the separate venues, but I believe it's important to maintain distinctions between levels. It motivates our support staff to strive for executive positions." Murmurs rippled through the back sections. Someone muttered, "What executive positions?" "Now, let's talk about the future of Crest Tech Innovations." Just then, the main doors burst open. A woman in a sharp business suit walked in, followed by 3 others carrying boxes of documents. I recognized her, Sarah Johnson, one of the city's top corporate lawyers. "Mr. Thompson," she said, her voice carrying across the room. "I'm here on behalf of Nova Digital Holdings. As of yesterday evening, my client owns a controlling interest in Crest Tech Innovations." The color drained from Mr. Thompson's face. "That's impossible. The board would have notified me." "The board was notified this morning," Sarah continued smoothly. "Perhaps you should check your email." Mr. Thompson fumbled for his phone, his hands shaking. Around the room, other executives were doing the same, their expressions shifting from confusion to panic. "Who?" Mr. Thompson's voice cracked. "Who owns Nova Digital?" "I do," I said, standing up from my seat in the back row. Every head in the room turned to look at me. The walk to the stage felt like an eternity and yet too quick at the same time. My sensible heels clicked against the floor. Lauren Davies, I said, taking the microphone from Mr. Thompson's limp hand. Senior Systems Analyst. Or I was until about. I checked my watch. 6 minutes ago. Now I'm the majority owner and new CEO of Crest Tech Innovations. There was a moment of stunned silence. You might be wondering how a support staff member could afford to buy the company, I continued. Well, being excluded from executive meetings gave me a lot of time to work on side projects. 3 years ago, while you were implementing your so-called organizational efficiency policies, I was developing an AI algorithm in my spare time. You might remember rejecting my proposal to implement it here. Too ambitious for an analyst, I believe you said. Mr. Thompson sank into a chair that someone quickly provided. I started my own company, Nova Digital Holdings. Turns out other corporations were very interested in the technology that could streamline their operations. We now have contracts with 60 Fortune 500 companies. Our annual revenue? Let's just say it dwarfs Crest Tech's. I looked out at the room, making eye contact with the employees who had shivered in that cold tent with me. I didn't buy Crest Tech for revenge. I bought it because this company has incredible potential being wasted by leadership that values hierarchy over talent. Effective immediately, we're restructuring. The executive-only policies? Gone. The glass ceiling that has kept brilliant minds in support roles? Shattered. You can't do this, Mr. Thompson finally found his voice. I have a contract, which includes a performance clause, Sarah interrupted. Crest Tech's stock has underperformed for 3 consecutive years under your leadership. The board can terminate with cause. The board won't, Mr. Thompson insisted. The board, I said slowly, savoring every word, answers to the majority shareholder now. That's me. I looked out at the sea of faces, some shocked, some delighted, and many still trying to process what was happening. For those wondering about their jobs, don't worry. I'm not here to clean house indiscriminately. If you do good work, if you contribute to our success, you have nothing to fear. But if you've been relying on connections, if you've been taking credit for other people's innovations, if you think a title makes you more valuable than talent, well, you might want to update your resume. One of the VPs shouted, "This is insane. You're just an analyst." Just an analyst who generated the AI integration that saved us $12 million, I corrected. Just an analyst who warned you about the security vulnerabilities that almost cost us a major contract. Just an analyst who's been doing director-level work for analyst-level pay. Ethan started clapping slowly from the back. Lily joined him, and then one by one, the entire back section, the support staff, the analysts, the overlooked and undervalued, stood up and applauded. The executives sat there, frozen, looking between me and Mr. Thompson like lost children. Mr. Thompson, I said, turning back to him. Security will escort you to clean out your office. Don't worry, we've set up a nice tent in the parking lot where you can sort through your things. I heard you believe in maintaining proper hierarchies. As security approached, Mr. Thompson made one last attempt. The investors will never accept this. You don't have the experience. The investors, I interrupted, are thrilled. Crest Tech's stock is up 12% in pre-market trading on news of the acquisition. Turns out, they're more interested in competence than pedigree. As Mr. Thompson was led away, I addressed the room one more time. We have a lot of work ahead of us. Crest Tech Innovations is going to become what it always should have been. A company that values innovation over tradition, merit over connections, and results over politics. We're going to promote from within, invest in our people, and show the corporate world what happens when you actually listen to the folks doing the work. I paused and looked at the empty executive section. Oh, and one more thing. The holiday party next year, one venue, one team, because that's what real families do. They celebrate together. The applause was deafening. After the meeting, employees came up to me throughout the day. Some had ideas they'd been holding on to for years, others had concerns about the transition. I listened to all of them, taking notes and making plans. Ethan found me in what used to be Mr. Thompson's office, which was soon to be converted into a collaborative workspace. "So," he said, grinning, "Nova Digital Holdings, you've been planning this for a while." "Since the day Thompson told me I didn't have executive presence," I admitted. "I figured if I couldn't join them, I'd buy them." "And the parking lot tent?" he asked. The final straw. "You can't treat people like second-class citizens and expect them to stay loyal," I said, gesturing to the plaques and awards covering Thompson's walls, his vanity gallery. "Help me take these down. I want to put up pictures of every team member who's contributed to our success." As we worked, Ethan asked, "What happens to the other executives?" "They'll get the same chance as everyone else. Prove their worth without the safety net of titles and connections. Some might surprise us. Others?" I shrugged. "There's always room in the parking lot tent." 6 months later, Crest Tech Innovations was unrecognizable. The hierarchical structure had been replaced with collaborative teams. The executive floor had been turned into shared workspaces. The parking lot, where we'd once huddled in that cold tent, now hosted food trucks every Friday, a celebration for all employees, regardless of title. Revenue was up 34%, and employee satisfaction scores had tripled. The holiday party was held in the main hall, with everyone invited. Mr. Thompson, I heard, had taken a job at a small firm across town. His new office had a view of a parking lot. As for me, I split my time between Crest Tech and Nova Digital, building a company culture based on respect, innovation, and the belief that the best ideas could come from anywhere. And in my office, I hung a photo from that parking lot party, with a simple caption, "Never forget where you came from." Because the view from the parking lot shows you exactly who deserves to be in the building, and who deserves to be escorted out.